Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It is ugh, big cup of coffee. It is Mark. I'm happy to be back in Tampa. Hope you're doing well. Is anybody in here? I'll just chill out a little bit until a couple other people enter the room because we're going to talk about some cool things today. We're going to talk about the Energy Leadership Index. Hey, John. Hey, Chrissy, Sarah, Wes. Good to see you. Let me know what city you guys are in. Let me know what y'all are up to this morning. As I as I sip my bulletproof keto friendly coffee this morning. I taste the money just going right down my throat when I do that. Who else is in the room? Say hi. Oh, did someone just give me a thumbs up when I drank the keto and saw that money go away? Hey Patty, good to see you. Yeah, it is a nice jacket. Thank you. It's my ode to my man Bruce Lee. Hey Tito Jerry, nice to see you. Um, so I guess we can start, y'all. I A lot of what I've been talking about with my clients the past couple days is this notion of consciousness. And if anyone has a definition of consciousness, type it in right now. Because what I found is that a lot of different people have a lot of different ways to talk about consciousness and a lot of different definitions of it. Um, uh, oh, John, yeah, thanks for sticking around, man. John's got an awesome coaching company called Relentless. So hopefully you'll see more of him in the future. Aziz, good to see you. But awareness, witnessing your own waking dream. That's a pretty awesome way to think about consciousness. Anybody else? How do you define consciousness? People are like, "What? Cordone's asking me this at 9 o'clock in the morning." Good morning, Cherie. Cherie, I know you know a lot about consciousness, so talk to me, Goose. What do you know about consciousness? How do you define consciousness, Cherie? Or are you in a meeting or something? Okay, so as y'all are talking about your different ways of consciousness, one way I wanted to throw it out there was basically a movie I was watching with my son the other day. It was called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? And so, like, do you remember that part at the end when he jumps into an elevator and the elevator has like all this glass around it, and like he basically pushes whatever button he wants, and the next thing he knows he's floating over London, right? I consider consciousness to be that elevator, right? Why would I say that? Well, think of consciousness like this. Pretend you're on a ground floor and you're looking out onto the ground floor, and all you can see is the street. That's what you're conscious of, right? Now, let's say that that elevator goes up a couple more floors, and let's say it goes to like the eighth floor, and suddenly you see the street below you. You see maybe the interstate, depending on where you're at. You can see some trees in the background. You see some forest. You can see even a little bit of the sky going on. Your consciousness is going up because as you're gathering more data, as you're gathering more data, you're also gathering more of capital T truth, right? Now, let's say it goes further and further and further and further and further. Suddenly, consciousness is being at that very top level of that elevator, and suddenly you're looking down, and let's not even say that this is the tallest building. Let's say that you're like way above the tallest building. You're just kind of floating in the atmosphere, right? Like you're looking down on the clouds. You can see cities. Um, you have a much greater view of what's going on with the world than anything else. So that's what's happening when you're raising your consciousness level. You're becoming more aware, even though you're sitting in your chair right here with your Bruce Lee jacket. Even you're more aware of what else is out there. You're able to sit in, I guess, that Willy Wonka elevator, and through meditation, through other things, understand that there's other perspectives on the world. That's consciousness. Now, when your consciousness goes up, your ability to make choices and be creative, your ability to go into flow, your ability to experience joy also goes up with it, right? So I wanted to throw something out there for you, because people are like, oh, you're a coach, but you're also, when you talk to me, you're a woo woo. Well, yeah, blah, blah on you. Um, I wanted to show you something that I got certified in. It's called the Energy Leadership Index, right? And what the Energy Leadership Index does is, it's basically, I wouldn't say basically, it's the same thing as um, the Myers Briggs, where you take an INFP, the same thing as a DISC assessment, where you look at your styles. It's the same thing as like True Colors, Berkman. Now, the thing about Berkman, the thing about INFPs and stuff like that, is that they tend to put you in a category, they tend to put you in a box. Whereas the Energy Leadership Index, it just shows what your energies are and how you can raise that energy. So it's meant for you to look at where you're at, and give you sort of the hope and optimism that you can change that, that you can raise your energy level. And it also gives you the awareness to think about what happens when, to think about what drains your energy level. So, for example, I was just in DC, full force, like, totally extroverted Mark. And then when I went back to the hotel, I was done. I was done. Like, I hit my face hit the bed, and I was done. And I needed to take care of myself. Even though my friends were going out, I needed to really practice self-care, right? And so that's what the Energy Leadership Report helps you with figuring out. Now, do you want to, like, inside information on what the Energy Leadership Report, like, spouts out, or no? Because I can stop right now. No one cares. No one cares. So I guess I'll stop right now if nobody else wants to hear about it. Sarah, you want me to stop? Well, for Sarah's sake and love's sake, I don't know if you're loving it because I'm stopping, or if you're loving it because I'm going, but I'm going. I'm going, baby. Um, so I want you to think about two things. The first question I want you to think about is is one specific task in life, right? Think about something that you're doing right now. Think about your job, but the more specific, the better. So for me, right when I get off of this call, I'm going into a coaching call with somebody. So I'm gonna think about that. So the first question I have to ask all of it, does everybody have their thing down? Does everybody have your task down? Give me a thumbs up if you do. So if you missed it, I want you to come up with the task that you're going to be doing today. Whether it be a meeting, there you go. Going to study and teach yoga. Perfect. Um, Thank you, Sarah, for pulling the ox today. So one of the so the first thing that you often should ask yourself when it comes to consciousness is is going into your studio to teach yoga energizing or is it enervating? Yeah, I understand that that's one of those bigger words. Energizing means that as a result of going into the studio and teaching yoga, you feel joy. You feel that energy, right? Versus, yeah, I'm gonna go into the studio and teach yoga today, and at the end of it, you're totally drained. Does that make sense? What is energizing and what is enervating? So making a distinction between the two. Does that make sense? So Sarah, what would yours be? Would it be energizing or enervating? This lag is driving me crazy. Great. It's energizing. Asking yourself that question, is something energizing or is something enervating, is the first step to understanding whether or not your consciousness is expanding or whether or not it's contracting. Okay? Now, I want you to stick with me here because I'm going to give you 7 different archetypes that I want to see business pick up. I want to hear you saying yes. I want to hear you saying I agree. I want to hear you giving examples of this because this is one of the core teachings that I do or the core assessments that I do with my clients. The first one is an enervating type of energy. It's a draining energy. And the thing is the more draining the energy, the more times you find yourself getting sick and you don't know why, right? So, energy level 1, I call the victim energy. And I'm not talking about necessarily being a victim of something tragic, but more so being a victim to circumstance, right? Um, let's see, you you see the world holding you back. Um, uh, you see lack of choices in the victim energy. The prevailing framework is I lose or I'm losing, and you don't see any options to get out. That's the victim energy. Do any of you know people who are like victim energy? Yeah, I'm getting a couple hearts. Do I need to explain the victim energy a little bit better, or did that make sense? I mean, it's kind of straightforward. Like the person is all into themselves, and nothing's happening to me. It's the universe is conspiring against me. Um, why don't I ever get a break? Those sort of things. Does that make sense, y'all? Okay, so the second level, this is also enervating. This is also draining. I call this the fighter. I call this the fighter level, right? Hey, David. So the fighter level is they see things as black and white, right, wrong, good, or bad, which means that anything in between, there's no possibilities. So often the level 2 energy person is the type of person who wants to be right. They want to win. And not only that, but their way of thinking is I win and therefore you lose. So it's not even a standpoint of like, hey, let's all win together. But it's like, in order for me to win, you must lose. So like it really is, there's a dichotomy. Um, that's been created, and there's a person who's the good guy, and there's a person who's the bad guy, and the level 2 energy says, I'm the good guy and I must slay this dragon. Does that make any sense? Exactly. So every political, like, I was gonna go and ask for your, like, where you're seeing this come out on TV. Politics is where this shows up the most. So uh, I'm gonna give you a like. Love it, love it. So are you guys with me? The levels 1 and levels 2 are draining. They're draining, and think about this. For those of you who are feeling froggy, take your finger and stick into the soft really hard and listen to what I have to say for the rest of the time. And say I give up, you know? Into your, like, chest. That big barrel chest of yours, brother. Okay, so if anyone was doing that, when you actually release your finger from that, you can focus again. It's like when weight comes off your shoulders, right? That's the same thing that level 1 and level 2 energy cause you. It causes you to, it distracts you from the things that really matter. Okay? So let's go to level 3. This is now the beginning of what I call anabolic energy. The anabolic energy is when you answer a question and say it energizes you, that's anabolic in nature. It heals you, it brings you together. Um, this is the stage where people start rationalizing. They start taking responsibility for their thoughts, their actions, and their emotions. Um, in terms of what winning looks like for them, winning looks like, I want to win, and if you win, that's great too. But me, when it comes to winning, I need to win first. Does that make sense? Because these folks are total masters of not manipulation, rationalization. They find ways to cope with things, release, forgive, tolerate, compromise, explain away resentment, stress, disappointment, and other burdens in order to encourage cooperation and productivity. So this would be the person that, like, you say something to them, and you're like, uh, hey, I'm sorry that I took your idea for a book. Is that okay? And they go, yeah, that's fine. You know, they rationalize that. They rationalize that. Let's see what Sarah's saying. It's just how it is. Exactly. It's exactly what Sarah's saying. Like, it's just how it is, baby. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Um, so let's go to level 4 really quickly. Level 4, I call this, and of course, for some people, the words don't resonate. So you use the words that work with you. Level 4 is the I call this the servant. I call this the servant. This energy is the core thought is concern for others, right? It's the level of caring, giving, supporting, and helping. Level 4 looks and feels very selfless, and since the focus of these actions is to work and achieve so others win and succeed, right? So this person exists so that others, yes, number 3 was anabolic. So this level 4 person works to see that others succeed, right? So when we're talking about you win, I win, we win, the level 4 person would say, you win. Like that's how that is their definition of winning, is that the person that they serve is winning. Watch out for martyrs, though. Exactly, exactly. Now, leaders with level 4 have a great deal of compassion for their teams, and they're inspired, and they inspire those around them to serve others. They often foster collaboration, teamwork, loyalty, um, just a high level of success. Now, let's start looking at energy dynamics. If a level 4 person comes into a place where they thought they would be level 4 and they're not allowed to, what level do you see them going to? Do I need to repeat it? Victim. Sarah, you nailed it. Because someone whose purpose is to empower others, being taken away that purpose, suddenly look at what they have and they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm a total like I I have no purpose. So Sarah, you totally nailed that one. Absolutely. So you guys ready to go into level 5? Type 5 if you're ready to go into level 5. It'll be Sarah, but I'm hoping there's more of you in here listening to this. Oh, Sarah's not even typing 5 in there. You're killing me, dog. Okay, so let's talk about level 5. We're talking about moderate anabolic, which means that on a moderate level, you're going to start feeling um, the growth, the healing energy that comes from being at energy level 5. We're talking about moderate to high anabolic energy found in the greatest leaders in all walks of life. Leaders with level 5 energy are highly conscious, wide ranging situations, and they have a lot of choices available when they're playing the game of life. Contrast this to level 2, and what do you got? You have a complete and total um, uh, poles there, because level 5 is looking at all the beauty of gray, and level 2 is looking at black and white. Does that make sense? So, like, level 5 is looking at all the possibilities and opportunities. Level 5 actually reconciles things that are seemingly paradoxical. Sorry about that, Sarah. I don't have another word for seemingly paradoxical, but like they reconcile the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, so that nothing is judged one way or another. Um, People with level 5 energies begin to see everything as an opportunity, meaning they don't simply make lemonade out of lemons, but they actually look forward to the day that they get to improvise on that stuff. They look forward to the day when like they run out of lemons. Like they do super well at improvising because everything is an opportunity. Sarah Rose, not to call you out, but I know that you're super good at I know that you're super good. We Sarah Rose and I calls it Tetrising. Like, you're super good at getting those blocks to come together, like when chaos is forming. Tetris, exactly. Sarah, that's you as well, level 5. Now, this is the great thing, is the intention associated with this level energy is predominantly we all win or no one wins. So, like, the level 5 person is beginning to realize privilege. The level 5 person is beginning to realize that this is a game, and the idea of winning and losing is not that big a deal. And if there are people to win, it's going to be all of us or none of us. And so the level 5 person figures out ways to create win 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 situations with everybody. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. No thumbs up. Doesn't make sense. That's great. I'll work on it for next time. Okay, so we're gonna do level 6 now. So level 6, we're talking about some like very high to extremely high anabolic energy. And again, anabolic energy is that energy that is refilling. It's healthy. Those sort of things. At this level, it starts getting woo here. So for you woo people, you're gonna like this. For you non-woo people, grin and bear it. So like the core thought here is the idea of synthesis, right? And this is the blending away of illusion of individuality, and instead the ability to see the whole in lieu of just its parts. For me, it makes a lot of sense because I do come from a collectivist standpoint, and so like when the individual is kind of made, when the individual is as important as the collective, it makes total sense for me because the collective is usually the stronger unit, especially when everyone's on the same value system, right? It makes sense also when you're working with corporations. I have no idea who's giving me that love, but I love you back. People with level 6 see energy in everyone and in everything and in parts of themselves. Level 6 is a place where intuition, so your mind is your cognitive, your heart is another part of things, and then your intuition is your gut, right? What is my gut telling me to do right now? This is where intuition comes alive. Creative geniuses, visionaries, and brilliant conscious leaders in all walks of life tap into this energy level, and they use it to create new and exciting innovations. So we're talking about like Elon Musk type of people here who are just like, I'm living in a couch and then I'm launching shit off space, like level 6 people. They have a sense of connection with everyone and everything again. And their purpose is we always win. Even during your biggest failures, there's some sort of purpose there that life is telling you, and it might be hitting you over the head, that there's something really beautiful coming from this. So if you ever have been in that state, that's a level 6 type of consciousness. Like during the darkest hours, you still see the beauty of everything going on. Okay? So, absolutely, there is opportunity, says Sarah. At level 6, there is a sense, we always win, blah, 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 blah. This is the cool part. If you can access level 6, it brings a permanent sense of pleasure, satisfaction, and joy. And who doesn't want that? Who does not want that, right? So let's go to level 7. Let's go to the Space Cadet. That's what I call this one. Or I call it the universe. because it's so highly in tuned with being a part of everyone and everything. Um, this is by far the highest level of anabolic energy. This is the curing energy. It's characterized by completely objective thinking, non judgment, and fearlessness. The master of this level can tap into and use any of the lower levels at will. So it's like using a car and you know when to upshift and downshift, right? Like level 7 people know to downshift when you're going up a hill, right? There's no reason to like level up and go 6, right? Um, so there's that. With level 7 energy, leaders are capable of viewing their world and their organizations with complete objectivity. Do you know how hard it is to remove judgment from our daily lives? Well, I think a lot of us in this room do what we can to remove judgment, but we're human. We're human. It's the human experience to have judgment crawl in every now and then. Um, so no human resonates completely at this level, but people who tap into this level are the most powerful people in the world. They consciously co create their life experience and are participants and observers at the same time. So, what do you think I mean when I throw out the word they become participants and observers in their life at the same time? Yes, Sarah, you're correct. We're co-creating this life. We're co-creating this life. It's the exact opposite of being level 1. Level 1, you are at the mercy of the universe. We're totally in flow. Exactly. We're at level 7. You are creation. You are creation. And not only that, but you are in such a level of creation um, that you're able to step out of your body and enjoy it. Have you ever heard like Olympic athletes? I heard wrestlers say this, so I don't want to use wrestling all the time. But have you ever heard Olympic athletes go and say like they went, they don't remember anything about their performance, but it was almost as like they were out of their body when they were performing, and it was like they were a part of the audience watching along. I've definitely heard that in a few different in a few different spheres, and so that would be level 7. We while we cannot sustain level 7, we can. There's definitely example. You become love. Exactly. You become the wind. You are. It's not you and the environment. Everything suddenly becomes harmonious, right? Um, so go to Sarah's yoga class. Now I wanted to show you something else about this. Um, People who show higher levels of of consciousness also show statistically increases in financial success, leadership ability, working relationships, family relationships, intimate relationships, level of engagement at work, feeling of personal freedom, communication skills, productivity, time management, work life balance, health and wellness, energy level, and spiritual connection. So if you have not done any kind of assessments on your, I guess, consciousness level, um, this might be a good place to start considering it, because there's plenty of empirical data that's showing that there's coupling uh, on relationship fronts, on work fronts, success fronts, financial fronts, that show that as you increase your consciousness, you're also increasing some of the things that you used to focus on, maybe when you were in victim mode, and say, how come I'm not getting this, or how come I'm not getting that, blah 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 blah. So I wanted to throw this out there just because you're, well, not only because you're my friends, but I love doing this. Um, I was certified. I'm one of the couple certified in the nation to do this test, the Energy Leadership Report. I'm not looking for big time money on it. I usually charge between $400 $500 to do this report. If anyone is interested in taking this report, um, I would just I would just charge the price it cost me to obtain the report, and then maybe a couple extra dollars, so I can go get some McDonald's afterwards or something like that. Um, this report I have worked for the past 3 months so that it reads like the story of you. So it's not like I'm gonna walk through it and be like, so your bars say blah 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 blah. So if anyone is interested in seeing what one of the top 10 strengths finding strengths finding tools, uh, and also, you know what, I'm also gonna throw a month of coaching into it. I'm gonna throw a month of coaching into it so you can maximize your energy. So if you're interested, PM me. I'm gonna take the first 10 people. Also, I know that families like to do this together. So if you're it's like $50 a person, right? So if families like to do this together, if it's about four, or if it's about, let's see, above five, yeah, if it's above five, I'll take $15 off. If you're a roller derby team and you want to do it as a school of 10 or more, I'll take 25 off. All right. Like I said, I'm not looking for money on this one. I'm looking to to see if we can empower as many people as we can and have a whole lot of fun as we can. Are there any questions that you guys have about this? I mean, I didn't intend for this to go into a go and take a ELI thing, but I just figured that you might find this to be somewhat interesting as you are doing your different practices. As you know, Kyle, Drew, I know that you've got different businesses. So how would this work as you're interacting with different folks, those type of things? So questions? Sarah's got a boom. Sarah, you're all over this one today. Yeah, and the other thing too is someone PM'd me. Yes, I will do the same price for your friends and family as long as they do it through the end of the month. So again, I usually do this for about $400. Um, I usually do it for about $400. If you look up the ELI on IPEC's website, that's the standard price. But I think for friends, family, um, you know, there's a price that it costs. So let's figure out that price, and then let's figure out another price too, so that like it's enough so that you show up. Because I'd hate for you to go and take this test and be like, oh, whatever, I'll get back to Mark whenever. Anyone interested in possibly taking it, or questions when it comes to the ELI? Like I said, family and friends get the same discount as long as you uh, do it before the end of the month, which is coming. I think I might have to put a ceiling on it, because if I do end up getting a roller derby team, it's over. um, but do it as a group. Have fun. I mean, I see a bunch of quillsters in here. Like, So if a few quilsters want to jump on board and get that discount, definitely go ahead and do it. Just let me know. Is that cool? No, it's not cool. I guess I'm gonna drink my coffee that was cold brewed because that's what's in nowadays. I love you guys too. Okay, so I'm gonna stick around a little bit if you have questions, but the biggest way, yeah, thank you, Sarah. The biggest way to get in touch with me is really to PM me and what it is that you want. Um, and how much these things oh, and again, this thing is no joke. If you try to look this up on the internet, it's expensive. So, um, hopefully you will. Hopefully you'll want to see what more is out there for you. And thank you to IPAC who came up with the instrument, and Bruce Schneider who was the originator of it. So this thing's been checked and rechecked, and it's been looked for consistencies and all that good stuff. So it's a solid instrument. Good. Fantastic. Okay, guys, thanks for sticking around. Have a good Monday. PM me if PM me if you want to talk more about this. And oh gosh, it is Friday. God, it PM me over the weekend if this is something that you want to work on a little bit more, and let's have a good time. Okay, I think you're really gonna like the ELI. All right, take care. Peace. Love you guys. Oh, and share this around if you can. Bye.